market reward scheme.
It'll be interesting to see what Coles does to counter this.
It
In the war, it continues.
Yes, it
Good
does.
stuff, Tom. Thanks so much for coming
Thanks,
in.
Deb.
Cam.
Thank you, Deb. It all started 100 years ago at Gallipoli. In hard times, we love to stand shoulder to shoulder with our Kiwi neighbours. But when it comes to sport, we're always bitter rivals, and it's on again in the Rugby World Cup final. If ever there was time to stop and have a hard think about New Zealand, it's now. So we let Neil Breen loose on this somewhat touchy issue.
Australia has so much to be proud of. Rusty.
My name is Gladiator.
Great debut
Farlap.
for the Australian beauty, Farlap.
Our very own Dickie.
Spectre is going to be a massive hit, as we'll see for ourselves when it hits the cinemas of Australia.
True blue Aussie. Sure, they had Kiwi roots, but they've been dropped off on the wrong island. Eventually rescued.
God bless America. God save the Queen. God defend New Zealand. And thank Christ for Australia.
New Zealand, you've done one or two good things. Sir Edmund Hillary, the conqueror of Mount Everest, what a man.
He looked like a big-boned second rower for the All Blacks, an ordinary bloke who lived an extraordinary life.
That was back in 1953. Your next big contribution to the world was sheepdog television. Mesmerising. Where are your world champ surfers, swimmers, golfers? OK, you invented bungee jumping, where you only have to close your eyes and fall head first. And you've occasionally done all right at rowing, as it was said, for sitting down and going backwards. What about sailing? You were leading 8-1 in the America's Cup in 2013.
Hey, we're going to hang there. We're going to stay here to take that cup home.
Then you went down in the next 8 straight and blew it, losing the unlosable.
The Kiwis made a mistake. Oracle take their second win in the 34th America's Cup.
Let's talk about food. The kiwi fruit. You stole it. It's really a Chinese gooseberry. The pavlova deep in your hearts. You know we invented it. Admittedly, you made a great beer commercial. But it was for an Australian beer. And you should stick to cooking underground. Follow Ken's advice.
Perhaps the Kiwis should leave barbecuing to us. This is what happened when New Zealand athletes and officials tried to have a barbie at their Olympic headquarters in London. Fire erupted, gas bottles exploded, people ran for cover, the lamb chops got burnt.
Peter Jackson made Lord of the Rings. New Zealand the perfect place to find monster men. But when it came to actors, it was mostly Aussies.
Even the smallest person can change the course of the future.
Take the devolved road.
All right. You want to bring up the cricket. That moment. Let's get it over and done with.
We're going to bowl an underarm. We haven't believed it. And that's a disappointing finish.
This was an act of cowardice, which I believe it was. And I thought it was most appropriate that the Australian team was dressed in yellow.
Yeah, well, sorry about that. These things happen. But can you please get over it? Oh, let's all take a deep breath. It's just a bit of fun. And did you notice? Not one joke about sheep. All you Kiwis out there, we love you, bro. But just not tonight.
Brittany's summing it up there. We do love our Kiwi neighbours, but not tonight. Let's head across the ditch right now to TVNZ reporter Matt McLean in Auckland, who's torn himself away from watching the early morning sheepdog trials. And, we'll get you... We'll get you motivated about talking up the All Blacks, Matt, because you've seen what we think of the Kiwis. What do you guys say about us?
Well, you know, I was thinking, Cam, it's adorable, isn't it? I mean, you guys sitting in your studio a couple of thousand Ks away, taking your little jibes. But I think us Kiwis, I think we prefer to stick to hard work. I picked up the morning paper this morning, the Weekend Herald here in New Zealand, and Richard McCaw. I don't believe in magic. I believe in hard work. So I think we'll stick to the skills of the teams here in New Zealand. But I was thinking, you guys try and claim everything that we, all of our successes as your own. Anyway, I remember Richard Wilkins talking about Lorde as the Australasian singer. So I feel like no matter what happens this weekend, it'll be a win-win for the Aussies anyway. And then just this morning, we find out that your coach, Wallabies coach Michael Cheika, was caught with a strategy paper giving away all his games away. It's like taking candy from a baby or something. I feel like Michael Cheika is like a bad poker player sitting there with his hands of cards going, I don't have a good hand, guys. I don't have a good hand to play. But you know, it's going to be a big game anyway, no matter what happens.
Well, you guys will be glued to the TV set. So will we. We love our Wallabies, and you know, this was the final that had to be, really. First time we've ever met in a World Cup final. In celebration, we've lit up the Opera House. We've put it out in the green and gold with the Go Wallabies message. I guess, just thinking, yeah, really, you guys don't have anything worth lighting up, do you?
Well, actually, we do, actually, Cam. We've got the Sky Tower just above us, which is the tallest building in the Southern Hemisphere.
Oh, yeah, it's like a little version of Centrepoint.
And that is being lit up in black and white for the All Blacks this weekend.
Black
so
and white.
Don't
So
think
colourful.
that you guys
So colourful.
Well, don't think of yourselves as too clever over there in Australia.
All right, well, let me just stick one more little barb in. The All Blacks, as we know, except when they're playing at home that one time, the All Blacks always choke at the World Cup. So now they've picked the last game. It's going to be disappointing for you guys.
I wouldn't say always choke, Cam. We are the reigning champs of the World Cup after all, so I wouldn't go that far. But no, look, honestly, it's going to be a pretty big game over this weekend. I saw quite fantastically a little wager that the Air New Zealand have made against Qantas this weekend. Air New Zealand put it to Qantas that if the boys in black take it away this weekend, that Qantas has to paint their planes black, which I thought was a pretty safe bet. So you might see some black planes flying overhead in the coming weeks, Cam.
Those leaked Michael Cheika notes made reference to owning the airspace, so I guess that's what he was talking about.
Exactly.
What are you guys doing for it? Because, you know, it is close to being a religion in New Zealand, so what's the average guy doing to prepare in New Zealand?
It's huge. Do you know what they changed? The government even changed the laws over here so that the bars could stay open long enough for us to get up and watch the game, which goes to show just how important it is over here in New Zealand. I visited a farm yesterday, actually, down in the Waikato, and a guy had cleared out his shearing shed of all the sheep and turned it into a massive party lounge for all the farmers in the area to come and watch the game. So even the dairy farmers in New Zealand are going to be downing tools and putting off the milking for a little bit tomorrow morning to watch the game. It's going to be huge. Everyone in New Zealand is gearing up for it. It's going to be a big one.
Talking about drinking hours, Matt, I was in New Zealand, I think it was about 10 years ago. I happened to be in Hamilton the night they lowered the drinking age to 18. And next day, the Hamilton newspaper was blaring the headline, 15 teenagers asked to leave bar. It gets pretty wild.
Yeah, it gets pretty crazy, but I think it'll be so serious tomorrow that it won't even be about the drinking. It'll be about sitting there, soaking in the moment, and watching the All Blacks walk away with the win.
Give us a little taste of the haka on our way out, Matt.
You don't want to see me doing the haka, Cam, trust me.
That's all right. All right, mate. Well,
we'll leave it to the boys in black.
Like all good neighbours, we're the best of friends when it matters, and tonight we'll just put everything on hold and may the best team win.
Hey, bring it on.
Good on you, Matt. Matt McLean there at TVNZ. And they're good sports, the Kiwis, Deb.
They are indeed. It's an oldie but a goodie, but you didn't ask him to say fish and chips, Cam.
No.
Anyway, next time. Good stuff. Now, if you've ever spent time driving here in Australia, chances are you've had an encounter, or a close call at least, with a kangaroo. They jump out, don't they, without warning in front of your vehicle, causing all sorts of trouble. But now, car maker Volvo is developing new technology to try to avoid collisions by detecting a roo early on. Martin Magnuson is Senior Safety Engineer with Volvo, and he joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So how big of a problem? Have you got statistics on kangaroo-related accidents here in Australia?
Yeah, last year it's about 20,000 accidents involving kangaroos.
Wow, and lots of money being spent, obviously, on damage.
Yeah, $75 million.
So how will this new system, I know it's research at this stage, but how do you envisage the detection system will work?
Well, it's a camera and a radar-based system that will try to detect the shape and the movement of a kangaroo together with information from the radar. So the system will have a good idea where the kangaroo is, how it moves, and it also has the the knowledge about